Welcome to Eureka Automobile Services. Today I want to show you how to change the kingpins for the dependent suspension, front dependent suspension of a Fuso Fighter, the Rosa, or some similar vehicles which have equipped with this dependent suspension. So you need new kingpins. We are going to change the bearings as well along with the RSs. These bearings comes with their new RSs, the bigger bearing and the smaller bearing. And this is a seal for this bigger bearing which is behind the hub. This is a cap which goes on top of the kingpin, and this is the bearing which goes on the bottom of the kingpin. And it comes with the washers there which are put on top of the kingpin. In addition, we're also going to show you how to change the tie rod ends for this particular vehicle. All you need is common and basic tools and heavy duty grease that will help you to grease properly. So first thing first, so the kingpin on the dependent suspension is the pin which goes inside this knuckle through this axle or the beam. It goes down there. Over time those wear and you get to have the tires wearing unevenly. That's how you can tell. Sometimes the tires can be shaking. That's a sign. So what you need to do is, first of all, you remove the calipers. So these calipers are being held by the 14mm bolts, 17mm bolts which is behind there. Once you remove those, you remove the calipers. Thereafter, we remove this cap. Under this cap, we are going to show you there is a nut. You remove the pin and then you remove the nut. After which, this thing will come out, will remain with the spindle. Then after that, I'll bring you back to the camera. So there is a castle nut there. That castle nut has a pin. Castle nut is being held by a pin. So what you do, you remove that pin and then you remove the castle nut. Then this one will come out together with its bearings and the spindle will remain. Once you remove the wheel hub, then they will remain with the spindle there. So what we do, we're going to remove this spindle so that we can have access. On top here, remove the dust and whatsoever that may be there. There's a cap. Pop that cap out. Now the pin is being held by a quarter pin. So unscrew this 14mm bolts. This 14mm bolts, when you unscrew it, tap here with a hammer so that the pin can come out. Once the pin comes out, then this pin you hammer it from the top, it will come from the bottom hand side. Let's do that. So now is the time to install the new kingpin. So inside here there is what they call kingpin washers. If you have seen kingpin bushings, so these you have to remove them. There are two, one on top and the other one on bottom. We have to remove them and press in the new ones. So to remove them, just get anything which has the same size, something of the same size with that bushing, like this socket. Once I start hammering there, it will start going downwards and hence that bushing will be removed. And once you remove, clean these surfaces, clean all the surfaces so that everything can be cleaned before you install in the new kingpin. Remove, if possible, remove all the soils and the dust that it may accumulate. Now, so before you install the new bushings, the kingpin bushings, make sure you grease this area here. Now this tube has a hole there where the greasing nipple goes, therefore, and also the kingpin bushing also has a hole. So this hole should be aligned together with that toe which is there. So you make sure it is aligned so that when you're greasing it can be okay. So don't forget to also grease this. Once aligned, start gently tapping it until you know that it has reached a correct level. When this hole here of the bushing aligns with the hole there where we put in the greasing nipple. So now we're about to install the kingpin. Make sure you grease this area. All these areas should be well greased. And then when installing this kingpin, you've seen that it has like a groove there. The quarter pin goes in through this side. So that quarter pin should be aligned with this groove. So this part of the kingpin should point straight towards where the axle is at this point. Then you would have aligned the quarter pin well. That quarter pin prevents this kingpin from moving out, dropping down, or rotating. When you install like that, then you have done it correctly. And then on top here, you should put these washers. Grease them as well before you put them there. And on the bottom, you're supposed to put this bearing. Remember, it is different. This part is completely flat, the other part is not flat. So this one which is completely flat should be on top, and the other one which is not completely flat should be on the bottom. Thereafter, you push in the kingpin. Now let's install, first of all, the bearing races. So this is the big race, it's down there. So to remove the old one, you have to get something like this, a load. Now down there, as you move around this pin, you're going to feel where there is like a depression. That's why you tap that inner race from. Once you tap it, it will come out. That's the same way you even tap the one which is on top. And when putting the new ones in, you use the same races that you removed to press the new ones in, as we will demonstrate. The next, make sure you preload the bearings properly using this castle nut. Don't over tighten it and don't under tighten it. Should not be able to feel any play to and forth when you tighten it, but it should be freely spinning without any problems.